everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Street Smart Millionaire. Well, it's the second week of January. I'm already made 3% in the stock market year to date. I'm having a big month in the mortgage business, and I got a ton of new coaching students that started in January. You know, I've been in the mortgage business for 41 years. I've been really good at it for about 38 years. Like when you look at like branch managers, I closed like $900 million worth of loans. Last month, I had 289 loans closed in December for $96 million. I have 38 loan reps. So obviously, I'm really good at the mortgage business. And I've been in the coaching business for 24 years, coaching realtors and lenders. And I'll tell you this, every year in my coaching business, I blow up so much that I can't even take all the clients. Like in November, I had 114 clients sign up for coaching. I took about 35. I replaced 20 and grew about 20. That's about what I want to grow every year. I always bring in about 3 new coaches. I've got some really great coaches, all making, one makes $2 million. One makes $1 million, one makes $1.4 million. My 3 new realtor coaches all make about 800. They're all doing really well because I do really well. And I'm a really simple man with simple tactics to succeed. You know, what I do in coaching is I teach people how to make more money. I teach people how to build a team, and I teach people how to manage their money. So we're going to talk about all 3 of those things today. So how do you make more money? Well, in sales, you have to identify who the perfect client is. I'll give you an example. I coach a financial planner. He's number 8 in the nation. He makes about $15 million a year. And he's been my client for 17 years. And when I first got him, he made $300 grand. And we identified who the perfect client is. His perfect client is somebody with more than 10 million in their portfolio, and they're a big earner. So he wants clients that are continuing to bring in more money into their portfolio. So if they're not a good earner, they're not his clients. So then I have a plumber that I coach that in the last 7 years went from 1.7 million to 2.3 million net taxable last year as a plumber. We identified his perfect client. His perfect client was the property manager, not the homeowner, not the builder, not the commercial account. So we went out, we got 50 property managers, and he has 150,000 properties under plumbing management that he manages. So that was getting his perfect client. My perfect client is a realtor or lender that does over 20 million and wants to get to 100 million in production. So they want to do really, really well. My mortgage perfect client is a guy doing, or a girl doing 3 to 5 deals a month that I can get to 5 to 10 deals a month. So in all my businesses, I have the perfect client. What you need to do is you need to sit down with every industry and listen. I have about 300,000 people watching this podcast every month, and I appreciate all of you watching, and I try to make it general teaching, not just lender and realtor. So I'm trying to bring in some outside people as guests that are wealthy, people that make $1 million, people that have more than $5 million. Those are people I try to put you into in the podcast so you can be around instead of like know-it-alls that don't make any money. You can be around people like me and my guests that make a lot of money and have a lot of money. Like I've made $1 million every year since 1995. So for 31 years, I've made over $1 million, and I'm already over $1 million this year, and it's middle January. So it's like, I want to bring you people that are like proven that they make a lot of money and they have a lot of money, not that made money one time, but make money every year. Until you've made $1 million 10 years in a row, you're not going to be that successful because it takes years to accumulate a big bank account. So number one thing is to identify your perfect client and get more of them. It's really simple. It's really easy. So if you're a realtor, you're looking for move-up buyers. They own a home. They want a bigger home. You're not looking for retirement people. You're not looking for investors. You're not looking for builders. You're looking for homeowners that want to move up to a bigger home. If you're a lender, you're looking for realtors that do between 4 and 30 million, and they personally sell the houses. We're not looking for big people. Now, so it's always your business, your perfect client, get more of them. That's the secret to making a lot of money. It's the secret. Now, I believe there's either transactional money or relational money. Relational money is you deal with me because you trust me and I do a good job. Transactional money, you just deal with me because I'm the lowest price. So I like relational business built on trust and like. Those are the 2 words that I try to build in my mortgage business, with my employees, in my coaching business. That's what I try to build. Transactional money would be like the stock market. I'm up 3% for the year in my portfolio, and we're 2 weeks in the month. And I've sold a lot of stocks and bought a bunch of new stocks to start the new year. Twice a year, I rebalance my portfolio. We'll talk about that later. So to make more money, identify the perfect client, get a bunch more of them, stay in touch, build relationships, take good care of people. Now we're going to talk about teams. So in the mortgage business or the real estate business or the social media business or the puppy business or whatever plumbing, whatever business you're in, you do business by yourself until you get big enough and you can't do anymore. Then you get a team and you build a team to support you. Now, that grows and grows and grows and grows. More team members, more layers of team members. Then you'll have managers. So you're building this team to support you. Like Dameen does my social media. He does all my videos. He edits the video. I got a marketing company that does some of my marketing. I'm interviewing a new marketing guy today to maybe join my team to help us with editing our videos internally so we can put out a better product, a better podcast. But in the beginning, shoot a video on your phone. That's better than nothing. So, and everything evolves and your team grows and gets better. So I'll tell you a problem when you get big. So I started off in the coaching business with 3 partners. We coached 20 people, then we coached 50 people, then we coached 100 people, then we needed some more coaches. So some of our students became coaches. That's been my philosophy. You're a student of mine for 3 to 5 years, then you can be a coach for me. And I kept growing 100 clients a year, 100 clients a year, 100 clients a year. And I got so big that I at one time had 35 coaches working for me. Then comes the problem when you have a really big team. They start to think they're you and they have an agenda. Like in my business, I had a bunch of coaches that had an agenda, that they thought there was a different way to teach based different than the way I wanted to teach. So then you start having clients saying, oh, so-and-so taught me this, so-and-so taught me that. That was a problem. And then I had a massive cleanse and I corrected. And now every team member I have, every coach I have teaches exactly what I believe in. Like right now, we're all working on the Monday call list, a full greatness tracker, and theme days. Every coach is teaching the same theme days, the same way to fill out a greatness tracker. In 2 weeks, all my coaches, I'm flying into North Carolina and we're spending a 1 day, 8 hours training on how to coach Rick's stuff. So it's kind of like, you know, I'm a big fan of Nick Saban, who was the winningest coach in college football. Big fan of Bill Belichick, winningest coach in pro football. Phil Jackson, winningest coach in NBA basketball. Scotty Bowman, winningest coach in hockey. Well, I got to know Scotty Bowman and I've got to know Nick Saban. And Nick said to me, he said, Rick, how many assistant coaches do you have? I said, I don't know, 20. He said, probably 45. He said, how many went on to have full-time jobs? All 45 got head coaching jobs. How many won championships? Only one guy, Kirby Smart. And I think that you can know Nick Saban's playbook, but you can't be Nick Saban. So all my coaches can know my playbook, but they can't be me. And there you look at in the mortgage and the real estate coaching business, there's about 6 of my competitors that all used to be my coaches, or they all used to be my students. Well, they're teaching a diluted version of my stuff that's way outdated from years ago. So I don't know why anybody would pay them. So it's like, wait in line, beg me to coach you, pay me a lot of money, and I'll coach you my way, my system from Rick Ruby, and I'll coach you. So now I have unified all my coaches. So I'll tell you a problem. My financial planner is one of my favorite students, one of my biggest students. So he became a really big financial planner, and we decided that he can only manage 60 clients. So we picked the 60 clients that have over 50 million, and he manages them personally. The rest of his clients are managed by his team. And a lot of my clients are managed by his team. And they call me all the time, and they don't get the same results I get. And the reason they don't get the same net returns is 2 reasons. One, I micromanage my portfolio. I'm heavily involved in my portfolio every day. I talk to my financial planner 3 times a week. We talk about what's working, what not working, what we need to sell, why we need to sell it. So we're kind of like iron sharpens iron. He's a great financial planner. I have a giant portfolio. So between my learning and him, we iron sharpen iron on this portfolio. And last year I made 19.89 net percent after fee. And that's all my portfolios combined. Every dollar that I have, I went up 19.89%, which was really good. And the S&P did right at 17. So for me, when it comes to money, if you can't beat the S&P, be in the S&P. So I try to beat the S&P. So I have the S&P plus other things. It's kind of like, the core is Rick Ruby and friends. My financial planner is Jeff and his team. And when you get too big that your team doesn't say what you say and do what you do and do it the way you want, that's a problem. And I will tell you, every guy I've ever seen, including my boss, which is the greatest mortgage man I've ever known, and he built a really big business. But he has a bunch of team members that don't always say exactly what he wants to say. And they don't always represent him exactly what he wants to do. So here's the thing. You want to build your team, you out. It's all about you, your philosophy, your systems, your structure, your ability to cater to clients. And then you get team members to help you. And everybody tries to get team members to replace them. I don't try to get team members to replacement. I try to stay at, and I'm limited. Like I have about 345 high-end coaching students. I got about 120 mid-range, and I got about 600 low-end clients that are in my level one that are just like my entry-level clients. And we try to coach everybody up to go to the next level. And we just try to get our level threes to become coaches, our level ones to go to level two, our level twos to go to level threes. So we try to move everybody up the ladder, get them to make more money, get them to have a team, get them to manage money. So when it comes to teams, you're looking for people that support you. And there'll come a time where you get so big that you can't talk to every client. That's a bad position. And you got to grow through this thing like me and Jeff did, where you keep your team aligned. So the way to do it is you got to have a crystal clear playbook. Like in the core, I put out my exact playbook, what my theme days are, how to sell, what my scripts are, what your team should get paid. So I want my coaches to coach out of the playbook. So when I bring them in for the week, we will go through every page of the playbook, just like a pro football team. Now, we're in pro football playoffs, and there are 32 football teams. I think 16 or 17, maybe 18 made the playoffs. We're down to 8 teams left. The teams that execute the best win. The teams that don't execute don't win. They're all talented. They're all superstar football players. They're all Americans in college. They all have big, giant payrolls of $150 million. They all have the best and brightest players, the best coaches, the best coordinators, the best GMs. But 8 teams are currently alive in the playoffs, and next week it'll be down to 4. And the next week it'll be down to 2, and then it'll be down to the Super Bowl champions. When you look at last year was the Eagles, they're out of the playoffs. 2 years ago was the Kansas City Chiefs, they didn't make the playoffs. So it's hard to stay on top for a long period of time because of your team management. How you act, like I am gung-ho about my purpose, about creating disciples for Jesus, creating millionaires, and teaching life balance. I am clear about my vision. I want 400 clients that at one time make $1 million. Right now, out of my 345 clients, 189 made $1 million last year, and 9 made $1 million for the very first time in their life. I want to create millionaires. I've had 3,000 people get to $1 million in the bank that have been under my authority, past clients, employees. I've helped a lot of people become millionaires. That's part of my purpose and is part of my vision. You have to be clear on what your purpose is and your vision is. And in level, first section is to make money by identifying the perfect client. Second section is to build the proper team that doesn't replace you, but supports you. And third is proper money management. You've got to have tight P&Ls, tight accounting, tight investing. So here's what I believe. I believe if you save 20% of your paycheck for 20 years and stick it in the stock market, you'll be wealthy. Simple. 20% for 20 years, never touch it. Like right now, I have about $108,000 in the bank, and I have millions and millions and millions of dollars invested in the stock market. I feel broke. I feel like I got $108,000. That's all I have to my name. Now, I'm going to a car auction this weekend at the Meekum Car Auction in Kissimmee. I've got about 22 friends coming down. I rented an Airbnb 30-bed house. We're going to eat chicken, eat pizza, drink some beer, play some poker, have some fun, look at some cars. This is my big manly weekend that I do once a year. So I'll get down there Friday and I'll come home Sunday afternoon. And we will look at cars. We will not go to any restaurants. We will not spend any money. We'll have tournament poker. We'll eat fried chicken. We'll eat pizza Saturday night. We'll eat a bunch of potato chips. We'll eat donuts. We'll eat ice cream. Just a super fun, smoke a lot of cigars, just a fun man weekend where I get to hang out with some of my coaches and some of my friends and look at some cars because I love hot rods. I got a big hot rod collection. So I think that you got to learn how to recreate within all these things that work in there. But I work all the time. I work 60 hours a week. If I'm not working, I'm at my farm, and I'm working on the farm. I'm cutting pasture, cutting trees, pulling fence, cleaning up after animals, feeding animals. I mean, I just believe, for me, here's what I believe, and I'll sidebar. I believe when I pray, I talk to God. I believe when I read the Bible or spiritual things like John Maxwell's teachings or people that I read, I believe I'm listening to God. And I personally believe that when I work, I'm worshiping God. So I believe you should work all the time. I see like all these people protesting, and I wonder, do they have jobs and how do they pay their bills? I wouldn't have time to protest, and I wouldn't. Here's what I believe. I believe you have the right to vote. Vote your conscience. Vote for what you believe in. I believe all politicians are I don't think they're very good anyway, so I don't really care who's in office. I don't believe none of them really represent the people. That's my personal belief. I believe until we get term limits and a flat tax, the country is going to be in trouble. So I believe if you want to vote for anything good, vote for term limits. You should be 8 years, be a senator, or be a House representative, or be a governor, or be the president. And then the next person will come in and they'll do I think the pendulum swings right to left. I think right now is pretty right. It was pretty left. It'll probably swing back to the left. It's good balance like that. So I don't believe politics affect my life very much. I believe what I believe in, I believe in God, family, capitalism. Those are the three things that I believe in. So I believe I'm focused on being a godly man, and I being a family man, and I be a capitalist, I'm going to do pretty good. And I believe that human beings are mostly good. And I believe I'm mostly good. Sometimes I'm not so good, but mostly I'm good. So I believe when it comes to money management, I believe the law is you save 20% for 20 years and you invest in the stock market. Hello, realtors and lenders that do over 20 million. This is Rick Ruby from the Core Training. I've got an event May 13th to 15th in Palm Springs. If you do over 20 million and you want to get to 100 million, pay $5,000, come hang out with me and my coaches. I've got 35 coaches. They all make between 800 and 10 million a year. They're all active in the real estate business. They're active in the lending business. They're not some dinosaur that used to be in the mortgage business, real estate business 20 years ago. I'm active in the mortgage business. I've got 38 loan reps. I just closed 290 loans for 96 million. Last year, I did $850 million in mortgage closings. If you want to be great, you got to hang around with great people. I'm only available to people that do over 20 million. We're an exclusive group. There's 140 spots to come join my 350 members in Palm Springs for $5,000. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, parties every night, bonfires every night. You will have the best time you've ever had in your life. If you come to my event and it didn't blow you away, I'll give you all your money back. May 13th to 15th, if you do over 20 million as a realtor lender, you cannot not come with me. If you've ever dreamed of getting more sales, building a better team, managing money better, I'm a freaking expert. I'm 41 years in the mortgage business. I've made over $1 million every year since 1995. If you want to be great, hang around with people to be great. May 13th to 15th, if you do 20 million or more and you want to blow up, hire me. Rick Ruby, Core Training, thecoretraining.com. Over and out. Now let's talk about my philosophy about investing. I'm a simple man. I got kicked out of high school. I didn't go to college. I'm self-made. I've had a lot of mentors. I'm always a student. So I've been studying money for about 15 to 20 years. I've been to a bunch of seminars. I've read a bunch of books. I watch a lot of TV. I listen to some podcasts. I study a lot of really what are supposedly smart people. And I come up with my investing philosophy. My investing philosophy is like the hand. So my sales is like the hand, and my investment philosophy is like the hand. I believe the greatest investment of all times is the SPY, or the S&P 500, and you can buy it through the Vanguard VOO. You can buy the SPY. Every family has an S&P fund. That means there's 500 stocks, some good ones, some bad ones, some going up, some going down. This is averaged 11.3% for 20 years. Warren Buffett, in all of his books, says the S&P 500 is the greatest investment of all times. So I believe the hand, or the majority of your investment, should be in the SPY or the S&P 500. I think then you have 5 choices to put your money in. What do I like? I don't care what you buy. I'm telling you what I like. I like Amazon. I like Costco. I like Microsoft. I like NVIDIA. And then I like a fund called the Invesco QQQ, which has 100 innovative technology companies. So I look at this as the S&P 500. I want half of my money in that. I look at the Invesco QQ. I like 10% of my money in that. I like Amazon, Microsoft, NVIDIA. These are companies that I like. And I think that Costco, so these are the companies that I like. That's a simple portfolio. Right now, I have too many things. Like in December 31st, I had 22 things. Right now, I have 16 things, and I'm going to get it down to 10 things. So I don't know why I have to have so many. I like stocks. I like to trade a little bit. Like recently, I bought silver. I think it's going to do good next year. I bought some more Amazon. I bought some more Costco. I look at it logically, and I said, well, last year, Amazon and Costco only made 5%. It wasn't very good. The S&P made 17, and Walmart made 40%. And I've been to Walmart, and I've been to Costco, and I bought from Amazon. And I personally think Costco and Amazon is better than Walmart. So I put more money in Amazon and Costco this year, and it's already up a little bit. But I think they're going to do really good because logically they didn't do good last year. So I'm not telling you to buy Costco and Amazon. I'm telling you I did. I'm telling you have to make your own choices. I look at probably 100 portfolios a month from other people that have between 500 grand, and some of the biggest portfolios I look at are like 12 to 15 million. And I see what they're all invested in. And it's like, wow, these are not good investment portfolios. So I'm telling you, if your portfolio is not simple, you've got the wrong portfolio. Now, if your guy is adamant that that's the right portfolio, and here's what I will tell you. If I can't beat the S&P, I would only invest in the S&P. That I made roughly 20% and the S&P made 17%, me and my guys' stocks beat the S&P. But I will tell you this, every time I sell something, like say I sell a stock next week, or I sold 6 stocks about 10 days ago. When I sold those stocks, half the money went in the S&P, the other half went into things I believe in. I bought some more Amazon, I bought some more Costco, I bought some silver, I bought some of the aggressive companies that I have that I won't tell you about because they're very speculative. So I think investing is personal. I don't think anybody should worry about your money more than you worry about your money. I think that you should pay attention to your money, and I think that you should study. So I watch a show called Fast Money on CNBC every day. I watch Mad Money every day. Now I tape them, so I speed through them, and I may watch 20 or 30 minutes. If they're talking about a stock I like, I'll listen. Or if they're talking about a sector, like give you an example. There's 4 indexes: the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Russell. So all 5,000 stocks that are publicly traded fit under one of those 4 indexes. Then there's 11 sector. Technology, staples, there's so many different categories, like housing, retail. So there's 11 sectors. So all the 5,000 stocks go in 4 indexes, and it goes in 11 sectors. That's it. It's that simple. So there's 5,000 publicly traded companies roughly. There's 4 indexes. There's 11 categories that the stocks fall under. You got to pick whatever you believe in, you think is going to do good. Now, I don't buy any stock that I don't buy it for at least 5 years. So when I bought more Amazon, I made a 5-year commitment. When I bought more Costco, I made a 5-year commitment. I'm a long-term investor. I am not a trader. I don't think there's any money buying and selling, riding the wave, getting in, getting out. I don't really believe in that. So what happens is every January and every July, I reposition my portfolio. Normally that means I'm selling some things and cleaning it up and repositioning a little bit. Every December, I do it before the end of the year for tax harvesting. Like I had a bunch of gains on a bunch of stocks that I had sold this year, and I had to sell off some of my losers that maybe I liked the stock, but right now they were losing money to offset those capital gains. I fund my charitable trust with a lot of money. I put a lot of money in my charitable trust every year. That gives me a lot of money to tax deduction. I bought some new farm equipment that gave me some tax deduction. And it's a combination of my income and my capital gains and my capital losses. So I do all this tax harvesting at the end of the year to clean it up. It's kind of complicated, honestly. The more money you make, the more complicated it gets. Then I dumb it down. Then I simplify it. It's like my business plan. If you just identified your perfect client and got 10 more of them, wouldn't you make a lot of money? And when it comes to team, If you got people you really liked and you want to see them grow and blossom and you're going to train them and support them and encourage them, you'll have a really good team. I believe that the first year, people learn their job. I think the second year, they master the job. So until a team member has been with you over 2 years, it can't be great. Like I get all these people tell me, oh, my team is awesome. How long has your team been together? Oh, 9 months. It can't be awesome. It takes years to master a job really, really, really well. It's kind of like anything you've done. Like I was a basketball player, football player, and a baseball player growing up, and I didn't master any of them. I didn't get any college scholarships. I barely played on the high school teams. I wasn't a very good athlete. So I look at sales, and I've been in sales since I was 23 years old. I'm coming up on 65. So that's 42 years I've been in sales, and I've had big results for a long, long time. I mean, I told you earlier, I made $1 million in 1995, which was 11 years after I got in the mortgage business. So if you make $1 million, you're a master in any industry: athlete, businessman, salesman, financial planner, social media guru. I personally believe you're not a master until you make $1 million. So if you made $995,000, you're not a master at your craft. You're really good at it. So that's what I think. And you're watching my podcast, so this is what I think. So I get to tell you what I think. I think if you make $1 million, you're a master. If you don't make $1 million, you're pretty good at your job. So I think that when you're married 30 years and you're still holding hands and making out and chasing each other around the house, you're a master of marriage. I think when you have children, when they have children, like my grandkids are 7 to 12, so I can see that I was a pretty good parent because my grandkids are pretty well behaved. They're respectful. They look you in the eye. They listen when you tell it them. They don't talk back much, a little bit, not much. They're very well, they're loved. They're disciplined. They're in sports. They're good students. So I know I was a pretty good parent because my grandkids are turning out pretty good. But until you have grandkids, you can't really tell if you were a good parent. So I know you all think you're doing a great job. You'll know when your kids are grown up if you did a great job or not. Now, I think that when it comes to business, if you make $1 million, you're a master. This is my opinion. You base it on whatever you think. So I'm a master in the mortgage business. I'm a master in the coaching business. I'm the master in the stock market because I make more than $1 million in all those categories every single year. So I think that I give pretty good stock advice. I think investing off the hand, the S&P 500, and any 5 things that you would like is a really good portfolio. If that's too complicated for you, then I like the S&P 500 and some cash. So I think Warren Buffett says when he dies that all of his money is going to be transferred over to the S&P. If it's good enough for Warren Buffett, now I've read a lot of his stuff. I've watched everything about him online. He's been brilliant for a long time. Like right now he's really old, but I mean, for a long time, he was the gold standard for investing. His Berkshire Hathaway, that's been a classic investment fund that's beaten the S&P for 20 some years. Now, last year it didn't beat the S&P, but I just don't think he's as active managing it. And I think now his team has taken over. Like somebody asked me how come I don't own any Berkshire Hathaway when I'm such a big fan. I don't really think his team is that great. I think he was great. Like I think in the core, I've been pretty great. My team's pretty good. I think in your business, if you're great, it's because you're great, not because of your team. I think for the guy I work with, who's the #1 mortgage owner in America, he's great and his team's okay, but he's great. As long as he's running it, it's going to be a great company. I believe as long as I'm running the core, it's going to be a pretty good company. I think as long as you're running your business, it's going to be a pretty good company. But I'll tell you, where people get in trouble, they all want to be on vacation. They all want to work from home. They all want to be on a boat. They want to be an absent owner. There's this fake dream in America that you can make a lot of money and not work really hard. There might be some people that do that. I personally don't know how to do that, and I don't believe in it, and I don't do that. So I work 60 hours a week. Now, I had a really good year last year. I'm cutting my hours down to 50. So right now I'm on a 50-hour work week, 50 hours, 50 every week. So, and then when I'm not working, I'm building hot rods, I'm working on hot rods, or I'm working at the farm. So if you counted my farm and car work, I'm probably over 70. But at work, I'm 50-hour work week. I run a mortgage group with 38 loan reps. I run a coaching company with 345 top-notch clients, 130 middle clients, and I have about 575 of my entry-level clients. So why does that matter what the numbers are? They matter because in the Bible, it says seek good counsel. So if you're in the mortgage business or the real estate business, I think you're foolish not to hire me. At whatever level that you can afford, you need to hire me. I've got a subscription for $99 a month online where you get access to everything I do. I got a level 1 coaching program for $750 a month for people to do up to 10 million. I've got a program level 2 for $2,000 a month for people that do between 10 and 20 million. Then I got a program for people that overdo 20 million up to 200 million. I got clients that do 200 million. I had 5 clients do 200 million, which is unheard of in the mortgage and real estate business. Now, so I'm really good at sales. I'm really good at team. I'm really good at money management, whether it's a P&L or personal budgeting or investing. So here's what I'll tell you. I think that you have to hire a professional. I work out with a personal trainer. I've got a marriage guy. I've got a God guy that helps me. I've got a business coach that helps me. I pay professionals. I go to the doctor when I'm sick. I wouldn't self-diagnose. I think if you're in a mortgage and real estate business, you should hire me. If you're not in the mortgage and real estate business, find somebody really good in your industry and pay them to help you, give you some advice and hold you accountable. But I will tell you, if the person that's giving you advice doesn't make $1 million, why would you pay him? So I wouldn't pay anybody. Like my marriage guy has been married for 42 years and they're great couple, all about each other, support each other, encourage each other, praise each other. They hold hands all the time. My God guy has got a master, he's got a doctorate in theology. He was a pastor. He's a missionary. My trainer is in really good shape, was a college baseball player. He's been a trainer for 25 years. So I seek out experts to help me be the best that I can be. You should seek out experts to be the best you be. And if you're in the mortgage or real estate business, I believe I'm the best expert in the mortgage and real estate coaching business if you want to succeed financially. That's what I'm about. I'm about making more money, saving more money, giving more money away to charities and causes that you believe in. I'm always between 13 and 18% a year in charitable money that I give away. I believe that the haves take care of the have-nots. I personally don't believe the government is going to take that good of care of us. I believe that the haves have to step up and take care of the have-nots. So this was me rambling today. This was my thoughts about sales, team, and money. A little of my philosophy on investing. I'm not giving you stock advice. You go make your own choices, do your research. I just like to tell people what I'm doing. If they want to copy me, copy me. If they don't. I'm not a financial planner. I'm not licensed. I don't have a degree. I'm just a guy with a lot of money that makes a lot of money and gives a lot of money away and grows a lot of money in my portfolio. Have a great week. Rick Ruby, Street Smart Millionaire, over and out.